everyone, welcome back to another video on our channel, and this video is going to be the most awaited video because everyone was asking regarding the Accenture interview preparation updates and Accenture interview preparation video. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about how you should prepare for Accenture interview because there are not many days in hands, only 4 to 5 days are left. So if you are seeing this video, I'm just going to give you the things that you must do, and if you are doing these things carefully with 100%, then there is interview is going to be very easy for you and you are going to easily pass the interview because most of the interview questions are going to be from this only. So let's see the interview topics I'm going to discuss very carefully, and I'm also going to give you the tips like how you should prepare the topics and what type of questions you might expect. So see this carefully, and first, before moving on, if you are new to our channel, make sure to click on the subscribe button, join our Telegram and WhatsApp channels from the description box link, and also make sure to click on the bell icon after subscribing because we post multiple hiring, onboarding and interview updates every day regularly. Make sure not to miss out. So let's see what are the updates coming. First of all, Accenture interview duration is going to be of 20 to 25 minutes certainly, because while booking the slots, if you have noticed carefully, each slots are on 20 minutes gap. So you can expect about 20 to 25 minutes max for your interview. So first of all, in the interview, let's come to the preparation topics mainly. First of all, the interview, everyone will going to ask one thing: what is going to be your introduction? So first you have to introduce yourself properly, work on it, because introduction is going to be something that is going to decide the flow of your interview, that is going to decide mostly what type of questions you are going to get asked in the interview. How? Because in the introduction you should say some things that the interviewer will ask questions from. Whatever you are saying, whatever you are speaking, make sure to understand that interviewer will cross question that or will try to understand if whatever you are saying is true or not by asking questions about that. So first of all, make to sure to prepare your introduction very carefully, and don't give personal details and all in the introduction. Just give your academic introduction, like what course you have done, from which college, if you have completed your degree or not. Like those who are from 2024 batch, they were pursuing the degree, and 2023 batch have completed their degree, but make sure to mention your majors like computer science, engineering or information technology, whatever it is. Also, you can also add your CGPA if it's good, but it's not necessary or mandatory. And also one more thing, the thing you have to make sure to add is going to be what topics you have interested in from your curriculum. Obviously don't say I have interest in football. Okay, like just like you can say like I have interest in DBMS, or I am like to learn DSA and I like to practice DSA, I'm interested in this. Okay, like this you can add one or two topics at most. Okay, in the introduction don't add everything, just add, I'll suggest, two topics in the introduction, because that will do what, that will direct the course of your interview. The interviewer will ask some questions from your particular whatever the topics you are mentioning. From those topics you can expect the interviewer is going to ask some questions. And if before you are adding these things in the introduction, make sure you have proper knowledge about these topics, like proper conceptual knowledge at least you should have. Because if you are saying that I am interested in DBMS or I like to learn DBMS, and the interviewer is asking you a question from DBMS like acid properties or normalization, and then you are saying the answer wrong, you are cannot able to answer, then the interviewer will have a very bad idea that he doesn't even know the questions from his own liking subjects. Okay, so that is going to be a bad point. So before adding any topic in the introduction, make sure to have a good knowledge about it. Next, the thing is going to be the question from favorite subjects, obviously, and when you are answering this, there will be cross questions. Like suppose you are giving one answer in the oops. Okay, suppose you are talking about oops concept, and the interviewer asks you about some particular oops concept, like they are asking you about abstraction or something, and you are, after your answer, they are going to ask you one more cross questions, like what is virtual class or what is virtual function, how you can do override and overload in oops. Okay, what is the difference between them? So they might do cross questions as well. So that is going to be your next so next topic is going to be resume. So whenever applying, whatever resume you have submitted, you should have a copy of that. Okay, and if you have updated also in a resume, you should have a copy of that also. So be ready with a copy of your resume and prepare everything you have mentioned in the resume, because The resume is going to be the guideline of your guideline for an interviewer to ask you questions. He can ask anything and everything that is mentioned in the resume. So make sure to have the basic conceptual knowledge of everything you have mentioned in your resume. Like if you have mentioned any particular course or certifications, you should have proper knowledge about the certifications. They will ask you some basic conceptual questions from there, and you would be able to answer it. Also, if you have mentioned something like a project, there's for that project also you should have proper knowledge, because the questions are going to be about your resume. The resume centric interview is going to happen. And also you have to focus on some things that is in the resume, mainly projects. Okay, even if you have not written project in your resume, still at least one project you have to give answers, because everyone is doing their fourth year or final year projects in at least by now. So they are going to ask you like what project you have done in your final year project and what part you have played in that project. So there will be multiple questions regarding project you can expect. Okay, and what is the questions going to be? Questions going to be regarding like what is the idea of your project. You can say like that only, like not even only technical questions. They will ask you other type of questions, like you have made a project about some application, so they will ask from where you get the motivation to make this project, or where you got the motivation to solve this problem, or what problem your app is solving. Okay, why you are why you have made this app like that and not like something else. Okay, and then coming to the technical questions from project is going to be technology stacks you have used in your projects. Okay, they will ask you about that, what technology you have used and why you have used that particular technology only. Suppose you have made a project using React.js, so they are going to ask you why you chose React.js, why not something else. Okay, there must be something that you think that is beneficial for your project, that is React is giving you. So you have to mention those. Okay, if you don't know, you have just used this because you have just used it, then just go and search what is the advantages of React, like that in the Google you can find, in the chat GPT you can find. Okay, and go this prepare this answer beforehand. Okay, like why you have used any particular tech stack in your project, and mainly what module in your project is doing what task. Also, generally the final year projects and all are a group project, so you have to they will ask you also that which part of this project you have contributed to, like the back end, the front end, the APIs, the database, where you have contributed most. So they are going to ask you that this question. You cannot say that I have done it all alone because my friends are useless. Do not say that, then they will understand you are not a team player and all. So say any proper part and then prepare from that part also, because they are going to ask you detailed question from the part you are going to say that I have done this part in my project. And if you are saying I have done this part alone in my project, and if you are not able to answer why this particular code is written there, then you cannot expect them to select you. Okay, you don't have to understand like every line of code, just for a block of code or for a function, what that function is doing. This type of questions you can expect. So mainly Accenture interview is going to be your resume and project centric. Okay, most of the bulk of the questions you can expect from there. Also, next is going to be some basic questions and that everyone in interviews ask. Basically, there is going to be OOPS concept. So you should have a clear knowledge about OOPS concept, and one object oriented programming language you should have a proper knowledge about. You can have it by C++, Java, or anything like that. Okay, but OOPS concepts, like the basic concepts, the four pillars of OOPS, their descriptions, okay, their real life example, their industry examples, and not only the four pillars of OOPS, their relative questions as well. Okay, like I have already mentioned earlier, like overloading, overriding, what is the difference between them. These things you should have a proper knowledge about. Okay, friend function, friend class, okay, what is inheritance, what is the diamond problem, everything related to this. Okay, next is going to be also one more questions, like how you should do exception handling. There might be some questions from there. Next, moving to the next topic, that is next topic is going to be DBMS, that is database management system. So from DBMS there are going to be multiple questions. Especially I am including the SQL inside DBMS. Okay, I have not written it separately because I'm including these things. So SQL, they might ask you to write queries even. Okay, they might ask, they will give you a condition like this table has this data, fetch this particular data. So how you should write the query? So this is going to be one of the common questions. Like SQL questions are very common in interviews. Okay, not for everyone, they will not ask to do write the same things and all. Okay, for everyone they will not ask to write SQL queries. For some people they will ask. So don't take risk and practice the SQL query writing. If you don't have proper knowledge of SQL, I'll give the playlist link. I have a proper playlist link for SQL. You can go and check that videos. There are only generally 12 videos I think, and you can watch it in 1.5x. If you're revising, if you're learning first time, you can watch it in 1x. Within like half a day you can learn more than 50% of the SQL. Okay, and also some date time functions and all that are not in that playlist, you can learn that from Google or YouTube somewhere else also. I'll give the link in the description. Next, after SQL, there are other concepts on the DBMS like acid properties, transactions, commit, deadlocks. These things they might ask. Also like entity relationships and like one on one, like one to one, one to many. These relationships also might be there, like keys from keys, primary keys, then other keys, foreign keys. What are the constraints? These are multiple questions they can ask from the DBMS and SQL part. Okay, so prepare clearly OOPS and DBMS these things, but first resume and project should be your main focus, then go for OOPS and DBMS. After that, you should have done, if you have done the coding down by yourself in the Accenture, then this easy codings is not going to be a problem for you, because they are going to ask you coding questions. Okay, for very few people they might ask, and also even if they ask, it is going to be very easy. Okay, like easy level codings, even at the same level or even easier than what you have done in the actual coding round. Okay, next is going to be some HR or behavioral questions will be there, and like your strength and weaknesses you have to answer. And whenever they are asking any thing like weakness, and if you are mentioning any weakness, okay, just mention that I am working on it currently, I have improved in it a lot, like that. Okay, at the end, because if you are giving any weakness to them, you are giving them some reasons to reject you. So you have to say at least one weakness and all, but you have to make sure that it is not a very vital weakness, that I cannot handle pressure or I cannot work very long. This type of things you cannot give in the weakness. Okay, and even if you are giving something, say that I am I'm working on it, like that at the end. Okay, and there will be some HR type questions like how will you handle work pressure, like are you allowed, are you okay with changing location or shifting to other location, are you okay when working in 9 shifts? Okay, well, if your teammate is not working properly, how will you handle the situation? These type of questions will be there in the HR round. Okay, so basically there is no separate HR round, the HR and technical round is together, so at the end they might ask 1 or 2 HR questions as well. So that's all about the interview preparation. Go and prepare. There are 4 to 5 days left. You can go and check our previous videos regarding interviews also from the description box. But these things you have to prepare, and prepare in the order I have mentioned this. Okay, first prepare your introduction, then prepare your favorite subjects, whatever you are saying in the introduction, then go for resume, everything in the resume, go for projects after that. At least these first 4 you should must prepare before going for your interview. Next, go for OOPS and DBMS concepts, like this only, in this order you should prepare. So that's it. If you have any other questions regarding these things, make sure to comment down, or you can ask in our Telegram and WhatsApp groups as well.